Hey, wanted to capture a quick update for today. I don't know if I have any great inspiring words today. Today was a hard day for me, and not because of anything in particular. It's just when you're here, the exhaustion starts to set in. There's not a whole lot of opportunities to get sleep, especially when you're doing overnight. Stuff that needs to be taken care of, and uh, trying to do things during the day, and when you do sleep, it's nothing like being in your own bed, and so this morning we went to the Capitol again, took that hike. That's a pretty tough hike. It was, I mean, it's really not. If you were a tourist, it's not that far and it's great. But when you've done it a few times and you've been on your feet quite a bit, it's a pretty good hike. And so, but we did it. Went up there, passed out a lot of flyers and whatnot. Um, Came back. I made a trip to the Walmart here in Washington D.C. Come to find out, there is a Walmart very close by. It's like zero point 0.8 miles from here. And so I thought that sounds fantastic. It's close. So I got in my car and went. And because it is, in the big city, in Texas, the Walmart is like, gosh, I don't know. It's got to be 30 acres or some ridiculous size parking lot, and they're gigantic. And you can park your freight train in the lot if you need to. But here in town, there's a parking garage, uh, which is relatively small, but the hardest thing was getting to it. There's a lot of construction going on the streets and one-way streets, and I made the mistake of passing the entrance to it, um, and was going to circle back around so that I could come into the garage from the other side. But once I got out on, gosh, I don't remember the name of that road, but there's this busy road that I took a left on, and it is literally impossible to make a U-turn or a left turn off of this road. And so I drove, over a mile down the road before I realized there's just not going to be a place to turn around. So I wound up having to make a right and turn around and come back. Anyway, uh, basically, it's challenging to get into with all of the um, construction and whatnot going on there. So I got in the parking lot, and then I went and did my shopping, and that store looked like, uh, in Texas when a hurricane's coming, uh, everything gets disheveled, and you know everything half the shelves are empty and everything's scattered around, and that whole store looked like that. I guess it's just really busy. It's a relatively uh, small store, I guess, compared to the as big of the stores as we have. Um, but I found what I was looking for. I was just looking for some drink, some caffeine to put in my cooler, and then some ice. And so I went up to the counter, and normally I would go through those self check lanes, but I didn't see where the ice case was, so I thought I was gonna have to ask somebody. Well, they didn't have any of the 20 item or less lanes open, so I went through a normal lane, and I went to the shortest one. There was only one person in front of me, but she had two shopping carts full of groceries, and it took a long, long time to ring up all those groceries. And and they weren't all groceries. I mean, it was kids' toys and a whole bunch of stuff. And they finally got it all ring up, and then something was wrong with her credit card. So, uh, you know, 7 or 8 tries in, I feel like I'm trapped there. So finally, the cashier was able to get a manager to come suspend that transaction while they figured out what was wrong with her card, and I finally got out of there. But all that is to say, if I had it to do again, I would have driven 30 miles out of town if I had to go to a Walmart as opposed to that one. Yeah, I guess it's probably convenient if you're within walking distance of it, but yeah, that was crazy. So anyway, I got back down here on the mall. Around about 4 o'clock, I was just so exhausted. It wasn't optional. I just got in the car and uh, kind of passed out for about an hour. um, let's see, Oreo's back in town. Y'all probably saw his stream. Got to see him late last night, and I think he and Joe were out pretty late. So they didn't. I didn't see them again until this afternoon. But they're both here. Like I said, Oreo's streaming. Yep, you're probably watching his streams, uh, so you're fully aware of that. What else? Uh, I guess that's about it. Like I said, today was tough on me just because I'm so tired. Um, Hopefully tonight will be a little more restful for me, especially since I got that nap. I feel better going into the evening, and so hopefully I'll get rested up and be re-energized and get to handing out those flyers again. Um, oh, well, one thing I want to mention: the card guy. If y'all remember, again, I'm not arrogant enough to think that this is the only stream you're watching, so you already know this, I'm sure. But the card guy was back again today, and he actually went to the Capitol with us and carried the sign. And I mean, he fully participated, and so he seems like a really good guy. I like him, so I'll give him one more quick plug, even though nobody's watching right now. Constitutioncards.com. Oh, speaking of which, when I look at that, I realize uh, I'm using Prism. Now that you guys got me over 50 subscriptions, I might try to stream with just straight from YouTube, because I think Prism doesn't respect the selfie camera reversal thing. Um, I don't know if anybody cares about this, but it drives me nuts. When you take a selfie, the camera is intentionally backwards, so you're looking at it like a mirror. But there's a setting in the iPhone settings to make it actually take the picture as if it's a forward-facing camera. Uh, but you kind of need to look at yourself as if it was a mirror, otherwise it's awkward. Well, Prism doesn't respect that iPhone setting, so even though I'm looking at it, when I look at the screen, it looks as if it's a mirror, which it should be. When you guys are seeing it, or when I watch the video later, it looks like I'm in Europe sitting on the passenger seat, or what have you. So um, that that's one of those tiny little things that drives me nuts. And oh, maybe there's probably a way to fix it in Prism, but I'm don't have the energy to try to figure that out right now. So so we'll just deal with it. But yes, if y'all are as notice things like that like I do, I am aware, and yes, it bugs me. I just haven't made the effort to try to resolve that yet. But like I said, no big news today. Mostly uneventful. Just doing the normal stuff. But tomorrow tomorrow's another day. So uh, I guess that's it for tonight.